About the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The Metropolitan Museum of Art, also known as the Met, in New York is one of the world's most renowned art museums, showcasing works of art spanning more than 8,000 years of history. From prehistoric and ancient Egyptian, Greek, and Roman art to medieval, Asian, and American art, the Met explores ancient and historical cultures through its artwork. The history of the Metropolitan Museum of Art began in 1866 in Paris, France, when a group of Americans agreed to create a national art institution and gallery to bring art and art education to the American people. Attorney John Jay, who proposed the idea, quickly moved the project forward upon his return to the United States from France. Under Jay's leadership, the Union League Club of New York rallied civic leaders, businessmen, artists, art collectors, and philanthropists to support the cause. On April 13, 1870, the Metropolitan Museum of Art was founded, opening to the public in the Didworth Building at 681 Fifth Avenue. On November 20 of that same year, the museum acquired its first object, a Roman sarcophagus. By 1871, 174 European paintings, including works by Anthony van Dyck, Nicolas Poussin, and Giovanni Battista Tiepolo, were in the collection. On March 30, 1880, after a brief move to the Douglas Mansion at 128 West 14th Street, the museum opened to the public at its current location at 5th Avenue and 82nd Street. Architects Calvert Vaux and Jacob Raymold designed the first Ruskinian Gothic building, the west facade of which is still visible in the Robert Lehman wing. The building has grown considerably since then, and various additions, built since 1888, now completely surround the original building. The museum's collection continued to grow throughout the remainder of the 19th century. The purchase of the Cesnola collection of Cypriot art in 1874, 76 works of art dating from the Bronze Age to the late Romanesque period, helped establish the Met's reputation as a major repository of classical antiquities. When the American painter John Kensett died in 1872, 38 of his canvases were taken to the museum, and in 1889, the museum acquired 2 works by Edouard Manet. The museum's Beaux-Arts Fifth Avenue facade and Great Hall, designed by architect and founding museum trustee Richard Morris Hunt, opened to the public in December 1902. The Evening Post reported that New York finally had a palace of neoclassical art, one of the finest in the world, and the only public building in recent years that approaches in dignity and grandeur to the museums of the Old World. By the 20th century, the museum had become one of the world's great art centers. In 1907, the museum acquired a work by Auguste Renoir, and in 1910, the Met was the first public institution in the world to acquire a work of art by Henri Matisse. The ancient Egyptian hippopotamus that is now the museum's unofficial mascot, William, entered the collection in 1917. Today, nearly all of the museum's 26,000 ancient Egyptian objects, the largest collection of Egyptian art outside Cairo, are on display. In 1979, the museum owned 5 of the fewer than 35 known paintings by Johannes Vermeer, and today the Met's 2,500 European paintings comprise one of the world's largest collections. The American wing now houses the world's most comprehensive collection of American painting, sculpture, and decorative arts. Other major collections include arms and armor, art from Africa, Oceania, and the Americas, ancient Near Eastern art, Asian art, costumes, drawings, and prints, European sculpture and decorative arts, Greek and Roman art, Islamic art, medieval art, modern and contemporary art, musical instruments, photographs, and the Robert Lehman collection. Today, tens of thousands of objects are on display at any given time in the museum's 2 million square foot building. A comprehensive architectural plan for the museum by architects Kevin Roche, John Dinklew and Associates was approved in 1971 and completed in 1991. Among the additions to the museum as part of the master plan were the Robert Lehman Wing of 1975, which houses an outstanding collection of old masters, as well as Impressionist and Post-Impressionist art, the Sackler Wing of 1978, which houses the Temple of Dender, the American Wing of 1980, whose diverse collection includes 25 newly renovated period rooms, the Michael C. Rockefeller Wing of 1982, which exhibits art of Africa, Oceania, and the Americas, the Lila Acheson Wallace Wing of 1987 of modern and contemporary art, and the Henry R. Kravis Wing of 1991 devoted to European sculpture and decorative arts from the Renaissance to the early 20th century. With the completion of the building's expansion, the Met continued to refine and reorganize its collections. In 1998, the Korean art galleries opened to the public, completing the main gallery series devoted to Asian art. The ancient Near Eastern art galleries reopened to the public in 1999 after renovation. In 2007, several major projects at the south end of the building were completed, most notably a 15-year renovation and reinstallation of the entire Greek and Roman art gallery series. The galleries for Oceanian art and Native North American art also opened in 2007, as did the new galleries for 19th and early 20th century painting and sculpture and the Ruth and Harold D. Uris Education Center. On November 1, 2011, the museum's new galleries for art of the Arab lands, Turkey, Iran, Central Asia, and later South Asia opened to the public. On the north side of the museum, the Met's new American Wing galleries for painting, sculpture, and decorative arts reopened on January 16, 2012, marking the completion of the third and final phase of the American Wing's renovation. The Met is home to a very diverse and comprehensive collection, and if you're short on time, it's worth paying a little extra to take one of the Met's guided tours, which will give you a good overview of the museum or one of its collections, depending on what you're interested in. If you're visiting between April and October, be sure to check out their beautiful rooftop terrace, which has rotating sculpture exhibits and a bar that's perfect for enjoying a drink while watching the sunset over the city. If you're interested in visiting and seeing the collection, the Met is located at 1000 Fifth Avenue on the east side of Central Park. It's pretty hard to miss if you're in New York. The nearest subway stations are at 86th and 77th Street, both about a 10-minute walk from the museum. Otherwise, you can walk from anywhere on the Upper East Side or take a taxi if New York's somewhat confusing metro system is too much to navigate.